The road to the 2001 Rose Bowl began with the hiring of Joe Tiller as Purdue's 33rd head football coach in November of 1996.
We're here to win a championship. We've won them in the past, and we will win them again in the future.
In his first year, Joe Tiller earned Big Ten and National Coach of the Year honors, leading Purdue to its first winning season and bowl appearance in 13 years.
We knew what type of a system we were going to utilize. We had tremendous confidence in the system. You know, timing in life is everything, and the timing was good, but the fact that we had a tremendous amount of confidence in our system and our style of play, I think, really provided us with an edge, certainly over the other new coaching staffs that came into the league, because as you'll recall, there were 4 new coaches in the Big Ten that season.
In 1998, Purdue recorded a second straight winning season and another Alamo Bowl victory, this time in dramatic fashion over 4th-ranked Kansas State.
There's a difference between having a good team and having a good program. Schools or programs from time to time will have that one good season, but then they'll do a little backsliding. And of course, our goal is not to do any backsliding, but to continue to improve on what we've been able to get done to date.
In 1999, the Purdue football team reached the next level, picking up a 3rd straight winning season and a trip to the Outback Bowl on New Year's Day 2000. Boilermaker players, coaches, and fans eagerly anticipated the championship season Coach Tiller had promised.
Everyone should know us by now. We think we can win them all, you know, so we felt for a combination of 2 things, the preparation on our team's part, plus our schedule, based on who we were playing at home and who we were on the road against, that we had a chance this year to win it all.
While there was plenty of offense in Purdue's season opener against Central Michigan, it was the defense that took center stage. Defensive coordinator Brock Spack's young and inexperienced Warriors recorded the Boilermakers' first shutout since October 17, 1981, a span of 208 games. The defense limited the Chippewas to 215 yards of total offense. Redshirt freshman linebacker Landon Johnson led the way with 10 tackles, including 2 for loss and a sack. A hit by Johnson enables senior defensive end Rocco Foggio to make one of the Boilermakers' 3 fumble recoveries on the day. The offense was led by Drew Brees and his senior-laden offensive line. Brees completed 25 of 42 passes to 10 different receivers on the day for 318 yards. Brees began his record-setting season with 3 touchdowns in a little over 3 quarters. Number 1 was a 28-yard surprise pass to sophomore blocking tight end Pete Lockheed on a 3rd and 1 play. Number 2 was a 14-yarder to junior tight end Tim Stratton, who later in the season would be named the inaugural recipient of the John Mackey Award as the best tight end in college football. Brees recorded touchdown pass number 3 on a 7-yard play to freshman wide receiver John Standiford to round out the Boilermakers' scoring. A goal for the Boilermakers at the start of the season was to improve their scoring proficiency within the red zone. It didn't take long to find out that this year's squad had the power to drive it home from in close, as the Boilermakers' first 3 touchdowns of the season came via the run. And last but not least, junior kicker Travis Dorsch nailed field goals from 43 and 45 yards, giving him 36 for his career and tying the school record set in 1987 by Jonathan Briggs. The Boilermakers got plenty of game experience for their young players as they finished big, winning 48-0 on a warm and humid day at Ross-Ade Stadium. Perhaps it was overconfidence in playing a second game against an undermanned team in as many weeks, or a lack of focus and intensity. Whatever the reason, the Boilermakers were not so sharp at the start of the game against Kent State. The Purdue offense still wound up with an impressive 605 yards of total offense, the second most in Coach Tiller's tenure in West Lafayette. Junior cornerback Ashante Woodyard and Landon Johnson finally got things going for the Boilermakers with a strip and fumble recovery at the Kent State 44. Drew Brees found Vinnie Sutherland open for a 23-yard completion on a 3rd and 18 to keep the drive alive after the turnover. Brees would finish the day 32 of 46 passing for 415 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the process, he broke 2 school career records held by Mark Herman with 9,283 yards total offense and 774 completions. The senior tandem connected again in the second quarter on a 5-yard touchdown pass to crown a 54-yard drive in which Brees completed all 4 of his pass attempts. Sutherland, who caught 6 passes for 86 yards on the day, also got 1 rushing as he followed number 78, all Big Ten senior tackle Matt Light, to the end zone on this 8-yard scamper. Kicker Travis Dorsch became the career field goal leader with his 37th, a 35-yarder that put Purdue up 24-3 at halftime. Brees and company then went back to work on offense and put the Golden Flashes away. Brees finished off the 73-yard drive with a 5-yard run for a 31-10 lead. On the Boilermakers' next possession, Brees hit Tim Stratton for a 28-yard gain. Stratton would finish the day with 7 receptions for 105 yards. Brees recorded his second rushing touchdown at the close of the 3rd quarter, capping an 89-yard drive. While lacking the intensity of their opening game, the positive spin on this contest was that the Boilermakers settled down into a workmanlike groove and took care of business. With Drew Brees at quarterback, talented receivers, and a strong, experienced line, the offense was set. But championships are won with defense. While Purdue's young and inexperienced defenders had performed extremely well in their first 2 contests, the next 3 games would be where defensive coordinator Brock Spack's unit would come of age. What was the philosophy of the Boilermakers defense this season, and what made the unit so successful?
We want to attack and never play on our heels. We always want to make plays behind the line of scrimmage, and that's the way we coach them, and that's where our players play, and we want to be real aggressive and use our speed and get after opponents. We want to dictate the tempo of the game, let the opponent dictate the tempo of the game. So that's kind of been our philosophy since we've been here. And now we think we had a unit this year that had pretty good foot speed from 1 to 11, and so that allowed us to do some things we weren't able to do in the past.
I think our defense really settled down when Joe Odom returned to the lineup, and I think that's maybe a point that's missed in the 2000 season. From a defensive perspective. And the reason I say that is because when Joe returned to the lineup, it was almost as though it was a domino effect. What we could then do is, as you recall, we had Gilbert Gardner, a true freshman, starting for us at middle linebacker, a position he had never played in his life before. And that was out of necessity, of course. Once Joe returned to the lineup, that then freed up Gilbert to play another position. Well, guess what? Gilbert, we had decided, was going to be a very effective linebacker, and we liked the idea of him playing strong side linebacker, but Aiken Ayadale was there. So guess what? Aiken Ayadale then, if we move Gilbert to strong side linebacker, Aiken then could go back to playing defensive end. And I think the combination of those moves had a huge impact on our defense, because we've got an experienced player then in the lineup at middle linebacker. We have a very athletic player at the strong side linebacker position, and we have the best athlete in the league now back playing defensive end, a position he excelled in the year before. So I really think, as I say, the domino effect, but the return of Joe Odom to our lineup was huge to us.
Some say it was the leprechaun and the luck of the Irish. Others say it's the mystique of the Golden Dome and the ghost of Newt Rockne haunting Notre Dame Stadium that doomed 13th-ranked Purdue's visit to South Bend. In the end, however, it was Purdue's own failures that resulted in defeat. On the Boilermakers' first possession, Notre Dame blocked a Travis Dorsch punt, and the Irish took over at the Purdue 4. 3 plays later, Notre Dame quarterback Gary Godsey, making his first start for the Irish, ran up the middle 9 yards for the opening touchdown. On the Boilermakers' third possession, quarterback Drew Brees rolled to his right, but his pass was picked off by Shane Walton and returned 60 yards for another touchdown and an early 14-0 Irish lead. Brees, who finished the game with career lows of 13 completions and 22 attempts, got the Boilermakers moving in the second quarter. A 54-yard pass to Vinnie Sutherland was one of the highlights of the drive that ended with Montrell Lowe scoring on this 6-yard run. Notre Dame countered when place kicker Nick Setta, eventually the hero of the game, hit a 47-yard field goal to put the Irish up 17-7. Brees notched his 6th touchdown pass of the season by hitting Sutherland on 2nd and 13 for 19 yards to make the score 17-14 at halftime. The third quarter was a defensive struggle, the only score coming as a result of the Boilermakers' third crucial mistake of the game. On 4th and 23 from the Purdue 23, the Boilermakers lined up for a punt. Instead, Dorsch mistakenly thought a fake punt had been called and tried to pass to Sutherland. But Sutherland wasn't expecting it, so the Irish took over on downs. While the defense rose to the occasion and kept the Irish out of the end zone, Setta was able to boot his second field goal of the game, a 32-yarder, for a 20-14 Irish lead. Purdue experienced new life as freshman safety Stuart Schweigert picked off Godsey for the first of his team-leading 5 interceptions on the season. After trailing the entire game and suffering through critical errors, the Boilermakers took advantage of the Irish miscue to take a 21-20 lead with 3:39 left in the game. Brees marched the Boilermakers down the field for 77 yards in 12 plays, capped by this spectacular 22-yard reception by Sutherland in the end zone. Godsey then led the Irish on another one of their fabled comebacks. He completed 4 of 6 passes on the drive, including this 11-yarder to move Notre Dame into field goal range as the clock was running out. A timeout set up the last-minute heroics for Setta as his 38-yard field goal sailed over the crossbar as time expired. Unfortunately, in the end, solid defense and good offensive play were not enough to overcome the problems in the punting game as the Boilermakers tasted defeat for the first time this season. For the second time in 3 years, Purdue had to play the Minnesota Golden Gophers after losing a last-second heartbreaker against Notre Dame. The results were the same as the Boilermakers rebounded to win their Big Ten conference opener. Purdue racked up 531 yards on offense as Drew Brees completed 33 of 49 passes and rushed for a career-high 88 yards. Brees was 4 of 4 for 65 yards on the first scoring drive, including this 31-yard pass to John Standiford to move the ball to the Gopher 25. Brees found speedy Vinnie Sutherland for the touchdown on a 2nd and 6 play from the 21. That touchdown pass gave Brees 72 for his career and broke the team record held by Mark Herman. Career TD number 73 soon followed as Brees found A.T. Simpson on an 8-yard pass, capping a 72-yard drive in 7 plays. Brees would go on to set Big Ten career records for completions and attempts before the day was complete. The Boilermakers were not through as Brees found Seth Morales for 33 yards to the Minnesota 19. And then John Standiford for 16 yards to set up Purdue's 3rd touchdown of the half, which was driven in on this 1-yard run. The Gophers could muster only 85 yards total offense in the first half as Purdue's youthful defense continued their strong play. Cornerback Ashante Woodyard led the team with 9 tackles for the game, including this crushing hit in the first quarter. The Purdue offense opened the second half with a 65-yard scoring drive that essentially put the game out of reach. The touchdown came seconds later on this 3-yard run. The Gophers' best offense turned out to be the not-so-special play of Purdue's special teams. Minnesota scored after a snap sailed over punter Travis Dorsch's head and was recovered at the Boilermaker 4-yard line. A second Gopher touchdown was the result of this blocked punt that was returned to the Purdue 14. The Boilermakers used the running game to lock up the victory as Brees went the final 11 yards on this quarterback sweep to really enjoy the touchdown. After Minnesota scored late and recovered an onside kick to threaten the Boilermakers' homecoming weekend, Stuart Schweigert pulled down this rally-killing interception to assure a victory for the Gold and Black.
Where it all starts, baby. Let's go. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
There's an old adage in sports. It's not who you play, but when you play them that often decides the outcome of a contest. That notion became painfully familiar as the Boilermakers faced an emotional and determined Penn State squad. The Nittany Lions, reeling from a 1-4 start, had vowed to rally in tribute to their freshman cornerback Adam Talaferro, who was seriously injured the previous weekend against Ohio State. defense was the story of the first half, as both quarterbacks were under heavy pressure. Senior defensive end Brian Dinkins and freshman Sean Phillips nailed Penn State's Rashard Casey near the Nittany Lions' own goal line. And redshirt freshman defensive tackle Craig Terrell also got into the action with this big sack. Drew Brees, forced to avoid a host of determined blue-clad defenders, still managed to move the Boilermakers into scoring position twice. However, touchdowns were hard to come by as the half ended with the Nittany Lions and Boilermakers only being able to achieve a pair of field goals each. On a ball tipped by defensive tackle Matt Mitrione, sophomore linebacker Joe Odom picked off Casey at the start of the third quarter to give the ball back to the Boilermakers. Brees, who finished the day with 23 completions on 50 pass attempts for 281 yards, took advantage of the turnover and drove the Boilermakers down the field with plays like this end around by Vinny Sutherland. The 42-yard drive was capped off when, in a switch of roles, Sutherland found Brees wide open for a 5-yard touchdown pass. As Purdue faced a 4th and 13 from its own 18-yard line, disaster again hit the Boilermakers punting unit as Travis Dorsch, under heavy pressure, was tackled for a 7-yard loss. Four plays later, the Nittany Lions scored on a 1-yard run, but could only take a 15-13 lead because Odom was able to block the point-after attempt. The punting problems returned on the Boilermakers' next possession. Purdue, facing a 4th and 2 from its own 19, had Dorsch tackled again, this one going for a 13-yard loss. The two botched punts were the 5th and 6th special teams mistakes over the past 3 games. Taking advantage of the Boilermakers' generosity, Casey scored on a 2-yard run into the end zone as the fateful third quarter came to a close. Brees on the ever-present Sutherland, this time sticking to their traditional roles, hooked up again on a spectacular 39-yard touchdown pass to close the score to 22-20. The defense made a superb stand with Mitrione getting this tackle for a loss, followed by Phillips making this stop on a 3rd and 9 play, getting the ball back quickly for the Boilermakers. Purdue drove to the Penn State 29-yard line, thanks in part to this critical 4th and 1 conversion by Montrell Lowe with 3:30 left in the game. However, the drive stalled, forcing Purdue to go for the field goal and a 1-point lead. But Dorsch's 46-yard attempt sailed just wide of the left upright. The Boilermakers were not yet finished as they took over on their own 5-yard line with 1:23 left in the game. The Boilermakers drove to the Penn State 45-yard line, but with 4 seconds on the clock, Brees' Hail Mary pass to the end zone was incomplete, setting off a wild celebration in State College. While the play of Purdue's offense and defense was solid, the emotional Nittany Lions, combined with the Boilermakers' generosity on special teams, was too much to overcome. Suddenly, the Boilermakers found themselves at the crossroads in what was supposed to be a promising season.
I think really the low point in the season for myself was the Penn State game, because I felt like we were taking a pretty good football team into State College, and I thought that, hey, if we're going to beat Penn State, we're going to beat them this year, you know, at their place. And I felt like once we beat them and get over that hurdle, we would have success against them in the future. So I thought this was really a critical football game. And as it turned out, of course, we lost that football game, and the way we lost it, well, we played excellent defense, but had a couple of miscues in the kicking game, was very disheartening.
A A most amazing month of football began when the 6th-ranked Michigan Wolverines visited Ross-Ade Stadium to do battle with the Boilermakers squad that needed a victory to stay in the Big Ten race. The first half was all Wolverines as Michigan had the Boilermakers reeling on defense. Quarterback Drew Henson and company amassed a whopping 351 total yards on offense.
I believe it's a conference thing, and our guys were, didn't know if they belonged in the same field as Michigan. Like, it came off at halftime, hey, they're embarrassing ourselves, and to give Michigan credit, they executed very well. They executed perfectly in the first half, and we didn't.
On 3rd and goal from the Purdue 5, Henson threw an incomplete pass while the Wolverines also were flagged for holding.
Incomplete. There's a penalty marker on the field. Indication holding against Michigan.
Rather than refusing the penalty and conceding a field goal, Coach Tiller accepted the penalty, giving Michigan a second chance with less than a minute to play in the half. Henson wouldn't be denied and promptly drilled All-Big Ten receiver David Terrell with a 15-yard touchdown pass, completing an 89-yard drive.
But I thought it was a calculated risk at the time and a good one because we needed to show our football team that we had confidence in them. And that was our theme at halftime, was have confidence in yourself, confidence in your teammates, confidence in the system. It was a calculated risk that we took there, and it turned out negative, but who's to say? In the end, it turned out very positive.
Barely noticed during the Michigan blitzkrieg, the Boilermakers did manage to move the ball and put points on the scoreboard. Purdue converted a 24-yard field goal by Travis Dorsch. Brees finished off an 80-yard drive when, on a 3rd and 5 play, he found Vinnie Sutherland on this 25-yard touchdown pass. A second Purdue touchdown in the half was prevented when a controversial interception call at the goal line went against Brees and the Boilermakers. The Boilermakers trailed 28-10 at halftime and seemed destined to fall to the powerful Wolverines.
When we go in at halftime, we meet with our players and coaches. And on the offensive side of the ball, we felt like we were moving the ball and we're doing about what we wanted to do. Everything was going our way against Michigan. We didn't have as many points as they had, obviously. But we were moving the ball. We threw an interception down on the 1 or 2 yard line and a questionable call that maybe we could have got more points. So we're comfortable with where we were at halftime. Our players were very focused and very positive and having a lot of fun in the locker rooms.
Came out and got after a little bit in later years back and played our style of football and ended up doing really well and gained a lot of confidence. The more we played, the more confidence we got, and our offense was playing very well that day. And we felt that we give our ball the offense every series they're going to score, and they did, and they got us back in the game. And we had to shut them down there at the end, and it all worked out well. It was a great day for us. I think that day kind of launched us.
We were having great success moving the football, and I felt like if our defense could get it together and get it going, why, we'd have some chance for success in the second half. Not in my wildest imagination, would predict that we would hold Michigan to less than 100 yards of total offense second half based on the terrific first half they had. They had the ball 4 times and scored 4 times. So certainly I think the second half of the Michigan game was really the turning point in our season.
Playing with unbridled passion and aggression, the Boilermaker defense held the Wolverines to just 79 total yards in the second half. Brees, who had finished 32 of 44 on the day, directed the Boilermakers to 311 second-half yards. The 530 yards that Purdue totaled for the game were the most ever allowed by a Michigan team. Purdue's first drive covered 75 yards and featured this 29-yard run by Montrell Lowe to the Michigan 30. This end-around play for 10 yards by the speedy Vinnie Sutherland got the ball down to the 6-yard line. From there, the Boilermakers played power football. First on this hard-hitting play to the Michigan 1. And then the well-earned touchdown on this diving run. On Purdue's next drive, Brees broke Mark Herman's record for career passing yards on this pass to John Standiford. But even more important on the drive was the touchdown that followed as Lowe ran it in from 16 yards out on this strong run up the middle. With time running down in the fourth quarter, Brees had the Boilermakers on the move again. His 7-yard run, followed by a late hit penalty against Michigan, moved the ball to the Wolverine 34. He then found tight end Tim Stratton for 13 more yards to the Michigan 17. To cap off the drive, Brees hooked up with Standiford on a 10-yard pass to bring the Boilermakers within 2 at 31-29. Purdue went for the 2-point conversion, but Tim Stratton slipped in the end zone and was unable to make the tying catch. After another strong defensive stand, it looked as if fate was going to be unkind to the Boilermakers again when Travis Dorsch missed a potentially game-winning 32-yard field goal with 2:11 left in the game. The Boilermaker defense, however, rose to the occasion and forced the Wolverines into a 3-and-out. Purdue took over on its own 41-yard line with 1:41 remaining and no timeouts. The first miracle of October was about to unfold. Brees first ran for 11 to the Michigan 49. Then the Brees-to-Sutherland connection hooked up twice. The final being this 10-yarder to the Michigan 21. The shaken Wolverines contributed to their own demise when they had too many men on the field, moving the ball to the 16-yard line.
Illegal substitution on a defense. Player to get off the field in time.
Dorsch was presented with a second chance, and he made the most of it.
This will be a 33-yard attempt. Tim Stratton to snap, and Ben Smith to hold, and Travis Dorsch hopefully to put it through the uprights. Here's the snap, the placement, and the boot. It is up. It is good. It's good. It's good. It's good. 4 seconds to go. Travis Dorsch has the monkey off his back. Purdue leads Michigan 32-31.
It was to be sweet redemption for Dorsch as his 33-yarder with 4 seconds remaining sealed the improbable comeback victory. Mighty Michigan had fallen, and new life had been breathed into the Boilermakers' run for the Big Ten championship.
You know, I knew that, you know, redemption was going to be sweet, and he came back and made it.
The key to any title run is the ability to win on the road. The true measure of a successful program is its ability to beat a ranked opponent on their home turf. Under Coach Tiller's watch, the Boilermakers had tried and failed 8 times prior to a key showdown with 17th ranked and co-Big Ten leader Northwestern. With destiny in their own hands, the Boilermakers were determined to assure themselves a happy ride home from Evanston. The game started with an offensive flurry as Northwestern took the opening kickoff and drove 76 yards down the field. Quarterback Zach Kustok was a thorn in the Boilermaker defense with this 34-yard scramble into Purdue territory. The Big Ten's leading rusher, Damian Anderson, rumbled for the last yard and a quick 7-0 lead before all the partisan Northwestern fans had found their seats on this homecoming Saturday. Drew Brees directed a Boilermaker counterattack as Purdue traveled 80 yards in 1 minute and 40 seconds on its first possession. Montrell Lowe, who would outgain Anderson on the day 174 yards to 55, had a career-best 50-yard scamper on the drive. Brees found Vinny Sutherland on a 3rd and goal situation for a 10-yard touchdown completion to tie the game. The Boilermakers drove 95 yards in 13 plays in search of a tie by halftime as Brees finished off the drive with the first of 3 scoring strikes to John Standiford. On the Boilermakers' first possession of the second half, Purdue went ahead for good with the Brees-to-Standiford connection hooking up for the second time. Northwestern's counterattack ended when Kustok's pass was tipped by Roger Jordan and intercepted by sophomore strong safety Ralph Turner. With Purdue taking over at the Northwestern 47, the Boilermakers wasted little time in taking advantage of the turnover. Brees hit Sutherland on the bubble screen for a 26-yard touchdown and a 28-14 lead. Then on the first play following the kickoff, Kustok completed a pass for 8 yards, but Coonley Patrick fumbled and Gilbert Gardner recovered at the Northwestern 29. Capitalizing on the mistake, the Boilermakers needed only 2 minutes and 44 seconds to score again and put the game out of reach. Purdue's defense shut the door on Northwestern's comeback attempt when Aiken Adel, in his second start of the season at defensive end after starting the first 5 at strong side linebacker, intercepted a Kustok pass at the Boilermaker 3-yard line. The Purdue defense, as shown here with Sean Phillips making the tackle, recorded 7 sacks on the day against the Wildcats. Turner got this solid hit on the quarterback to go along with his earlier interception. The last Brees-to-Standiford touchdown pass came in the 4th quarter when, on 3rd and 9, the senior quarterback found the freshman receiver on a crossing pattern for an exciting 43-yard scoring strike. By handing the Wildcats their first loss in league play, and with Ohio State's surprising loss at home to Minnesota, the Boilermakers now found themselves in a 4-way tie for first place in the Big Ten, heading into their 8th game of the season. The October gauntlet and the run for the roses continued as the Boilermakers paid a visit to Camp Randall Stadium and the 2-time defending Big Ten champion Wisconsin Badgers. After a scoreless first quarter, the Badgers got their homecoming crowd on its feet as freshman quarterback Jim Sorgi, getting his first start, engineered a 70-yard scoring drive, culminating in a 28-yard strike to Chris Chambers for the touchdown. The Boilermakers rallied with a 77-yard drive of their own. A highlight of the drive was Purdue's continued ability to make third-down conversions. One of the best indicators of an efficient offense is its third-down conversion percentage, and Purdue led the nation at 58%. What was it that made the Boilermakers offense so successful on third down?
Everyone makes much ado over the third down conversion. We feel like it's a ramification of first down, and we constantly preach to our kids about the efficiency on first down. And this group of players have been with us a long time, and they finally bit in and understood how important it was to be successful on first down. And we won on first down quite a bit. I think also with Drew playing quarterback, he eliminated a lot of negative yardage plays for us and got us out of some bad situations that only he could do, and enabled us to be in short yardage a tremendous amount this year on third down.
Purdue's first scoring drive ended in dramatic style when A.T. Simpson hauled in this 30-yard strike for the touchdown. Wisconsin immediately countered when the elusive Michael Bennett capped off a 1-minute and 3-second drive with a 33-yard scamper into the end zone. The Boilermakers tied the game at 14 by driving 80 yards in 7 plays to open the second half. Here, Montrell Lowe, with the help of a big block from Brees, got loose for a 40-yard dash down the sidelines. A spectacular diving 15-yard catch by Seth Morales, the Indianapolis area sophomore who transferred from Butler University, set up first and goal from the Badger 6. Then Brees, who would finish his career with more rushing yards than any Division I quarterback, who also threw for at least 10,000 yards, finished off the touchdown drive by taking it in himself. The Boilermakers took their first lead of the game when Brees hooked up over the middle with Morales on this 78-yard scoring strike, which also was Purdue's longest play from scrimmage this season. On that play, Brees became the Big Ten's career passing leader, overtaking Iowa's Chuck Long. Travis Dorsch stretched the lead to 24-17 on this 44-yard field goal with less than 8 minutes left in the game. Facing fourth down at the Purdue 38-yard line with time running down, Sorgi and Chambers again connected for a first down on a 24-yard pass play to the Purdue 14. Sorgi finished off the 62-yard drive with this game-tying 5-yard pass to John Sigmund with 3:50 left on the clock. Having to get a punt off deep in their own territory had not been the Boilermakers' forte this season, but newly appointed punter Scott Kurz rose to the occasion with 1:43 left in the game, hitting this booming 48-yarder to the Wisconsin 3. The defense turned in an outstanding day, led by Stuart Schweigert, who had a team-high 12 tackles, including this shoestring stop on Bennett. And Aiken Adel with 9 tackles, including 4 for loss. Matt Mitrione showed the power, speed, and savvy that made him a second-team All-Big Ten defensive tackle on this sack. Senior cornerback Chris Clopton forced this turnover, recovered by Adel, that preceded the Brees-to-Morales game-turning touchdown. With the score tied at the end of regulation, the game moved into overtime. The Boilermakers, playing in only their second overtime game in school history, responded with a series of plays that were key to their championship season. Having won the toss, Purdue elected to go on defense first. The Badgers put the ball in play at the Purdue 25. On the first play, Bennett, who ran for 188 yards on the day, was stopped for no gain. Then Sorgi and Chambers were finally stopped as Ashante Woodyard knocked down a pass at the goal line. After a 5-yard penalty, Adel sacked Sorgi for the 3rd time in the game, this one for a 13-yard loss, setting up 4th and 25 from the Purdue 40. Wisconsin opted to try for the lead with a 58-yard field goal attempt from Vitaly Pasetsky. Then came the second miracle of October.
And this is going to be a 58-yard attempt by Vitaly Pisetsky, the fifth-year senior. High snap, and the kick is blocked. It's picked up by the Boilermakers, and it's going to be Woodyard. He's going to score. He's going to score, and the Boilermakers win it in overtime.
The Boilermakers left Wisconsin with the victory and still tied for first place in the Big Ten. But waiting for them on the last Saturday of October would be the 12th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. The Boilermakers and the Ohio State Buckeyes hooked up in an unforgettable contest in Ross-Ade Stadium for what was to become the key match in deciding the Big Ten championship. Aiken Adel led a determined team effort on defense as he notched 8 tackles, including 3 for loss, 2 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and this interception of Ohio State quarterback Steve Bellisari at the Buckeye 45. Brees hit A.T. Simpson for 19 yards on the drive off the turnover to get the ball down to the Ohio State 8. The Boilermakers powered the ball in with a 2-yard run to take the lead. The defense assured the halftime lead as Craig Terrell continued his outstanding play with this big sack on Bellisari. Brees hooked up with Vinny Sutherland twice on the opening drive of the third quarter. Sutherland, a semifinalist for the Bolitnikoff Award as the nation's premier receiver, caught 10 passes for 142 yards on the day, including this spectacular 45-yarder to the Ohio State 25. The Buckeye defense stiffened, and Purdue settled for this 34-yard field goal by Travis Dorsch and a 10-3 lead. Forced to pass on the next series of downs, Bellisari was 3 of 4, including this completion to a wide-open Reggie Germany for 22 yards to the Purdue 1. Jamar Martin ran it in the last yard, and it appeared that the tradition-rich Buckeyes were taking control. Ohio State seemed on the verge of a blowout as Nate Clemens returned a Purdue punt for 83 yards, outracing Jason Lorenzel, the Boilermakers' last hope for a tackle, to score this touchdown. Then came one of the most dramatic quarters of football in Purdue history. Brees went to work, hitting John Standiford for 32 yards to the Ohio State 41. Seth Morales, who would also finish the day with over 100 yards receiving, kept the drive alive with his 16-yard completion on 3rd and 10 to the Buckeye 9. Brees got the first of his 3 touchdown passes when he scrambled to find Standiford in the end zone for the final 5 yards. Brees then marched the Boilermakers another 90 yards down the field to take the lead. On the way, he hit Tim Stratton for 14 and 9 yards, both on 3rd and 5 plays, to keep the drive alive. Stratton finished the day with an even 100 yards receiving on a career-high 12 catches. This feat marked only the 2nd time in Purdue history that 3 receivers would reach the century mark in a game. Senior leadership again played a key role as on Purdue's next drive, Brees and Sutherland connected on 3 critical receptions. The final catch came on this 3rd and 5 play from the Ohio State 19. Sutherland caught Brees' pass in the right flat and then flashed his famous speed to outrace the Buckeye defenders to the corner of the end zone with 5:59 to play. After Matt Mitrione and the rest of the defense held, it appeared that all the Boilermakers would need to do to earn this hard-fought victory was maintain possession and run out the clock. But it wasn't to be that simple. Instead, the final minutes turned into some of the most dramatic in Boilermaker history, and Heisman Trophy candidate Drew Brees found himself at the center of all the action. With 3:11 left in the game, Brees was blitzed by Ohio State linebacker Joe Cooper, and his pass in the right flat, meant to be thrown away, was picked off by safety Mike Doss and returned 33 yards to the Purdue 2-yard line, with Brees making this touchdown-saving tackle. The Buckeyes would not be denied as they capitalized on what was Brees' 4th interception of the game and ran it in for the score with 2:16 left to play. The scene was now set for the 3rd and final miracle of October. After an inspiring kickoff return of 31 yards by Chris Clofton, the Boilermakers proved that they were championship contenders and that Brees was deserving of his Heisman Trophy finalist nomination.
Second down and 10. Slot to the left, slot to the right. Cedric Brown stays at home alongside Drew Brees. Drew takes the snap from center, looks, has time to throw, airs it out deep, way downfield, throw by Morales, he's going to score, he's going to score, touchdown Purdue, Seth Morales, Seth Morales, there are no flags, the Boilermakers have taken the lead on a 64-yard strike, unbelievable.
The senior leader, who would go on to be named the Maxwell Award winner for the best player in college football, redeemed himself with perhaps the biggest play of a season filled with big plays. The amazing month of October came to a close. During that stretch, the Boilermakers rallied in all 4 contests as they were able to defeat the 3 other title contenders as well as knocking off the defending league champions.
Congratulations, Boilermakers, for another win. The final score, Purdue 31, Ohio State 27.
After the dramatic Ohio State win, an ecstatic Brees told a national TV audience about his last 2 plays of the game.
It's kind of speechless considering what happened, but I guess if there's one thing I can say about that last 2-minute drive there is that one of our defensive ends came up to me, Ike Moore, number 58, and said, "Hey, what's your mom always tell you? If you break it, you fix it." He said, "Is that right?" I said, "Yeah, I broke it, but I think I fixed it."
In the world of sports, there are always certain plays that will be remembered forever and associated with the name of a great athlete. These are the moments in time that embody the essence of who the athlete is and why that athlete is better than all the rest. Such is the case with Drew Brees in the final 3 minutes and 11 seconds of the Ohio State game. Turning failure into triumph, Drew Brees experienced the defining moment of his career at Purdue with a 64-yard touchdown pass to Seth Morales that will be remembered as one of the greatest moments in Boilermaker history.
The play was 74X Z-pole, which he had a hitch route to his left. He went from a hitch route by the number 1 receiver to a fade route to the number 2 receiver to a skinny post by number 3 and an even skinnier post by the number 4 receiver. And the first one was covered, the second one was covered, the third one was covered, and we got all the way to this fourth one. And like I said, very few quarterbacks will get that far in their progression because they'll start to panic a bit in the pocket.
One of the most remarkable facts about Drew Brees is that in 37 career starts, he never sustained a significant injury. In fact, he never missed a snap.
And again, that comes back to him being able to feel that rush and knowing when exactly he needed to get rid of the football and throwing the ball on time. He had an excellent sense of timing in the pocket, and that is required in our passing game. You've got to have a quarterback that has a sense of timing and knowing when those routes are going to be broken off and getting rid of the football right before they break their routes. And he had an incredible sense of timing, as well, and that's part of his pocket presence. The guy could sit in the pocket, he'd cut the ball loose before a receiver would get out of his cut, and he just understood the timing of the passing game.
Drew Brees became the most prolific passer in Big Ten history, setting these career marks. But what intangible qualities made him one of the nation's best?
He allows everybody else to rise up to his level, or he brings everybody else up to his level. And there's very few players that can do that. I think he's one of them. There's very few quarterbacks that possess that ability. So, besides the fact that he's extremely intelligent, he's accurate, competitive, and confident, I would say what sets him apart from 95% of the other college quarterbacks out there in the country is his pocket presence.
The Michigan State Spartans were a team that had averaged only 11.7 points a game over their previous 6 games and were mired in last place in the Big Ten with a 1-5 record. The Boilermakers were well-rested after a bye week and controlled their destiny, a trip to Pasadena and the Rose Bowl. But Michigan State wasn't so quick to concede, and the Spartans rolled over the Boilermakers en route to a convincing victory. Michigan State finished with a season-high 487 yards total offense that included 292 yards on the ground, also a team high for the season. On this day, there was little positive to say about the Boilermaker offense, as the 10 points scored in the game were the fewest ever in Coach Tiller's 4-year tenure at Purdue. The Purdue offensive highlights boiled down to 6 catches by Seth Morales, this one going for 17 yards. And a beautifully thrown 68-yard bomb to Vinnie Sutherland in the 3rd quarter on the first play after a Michigan State punt. Travis Dorsch had the other 3 Purdue points on a 36-yard field goal late in the 1st quarter. It was on that kick that Dorsch became Purdue's career point leader, passing All-American fullback Mike Allstott. Stuart Schweigert was the defensive leader with 14 tackles and this rather unique interception in the 1st quarter. While the defeat could have denied the Boilermakers their championship season, fate was to be kind this November Saturday, as co-leader Northwestern also unexpectedly suffered its 2nd conference loss at Iowa. Thus, in a season that seemed to be defined by second chances, the Boilermakers were given another chance to claim the Big Ten championship and the coveted privilege of representing the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl. Their chance would come when they played host to interstate rival Indiana in the final game of the season, the 76th annual battle for the Old Oaken Bucket. While it was a cold, windy, late Saturday afternoon in November, you wouldn't have known it in West Lafayette. The atmosphere on campus was absolutely electric as more than 69,000 fans descended upon Ross-Ade Stadium, along with an ABC television audience, to witness this one-game shootout and a moment in Boilermaker history. Purdue drew first blood as Drew Brees directed a 74-yard drive. It was capped off when Montrell Lowe, who rushed for a career-high 208 yards, scored the first of his 4 touchdowns on this 12-yard burst. Purdue scored again in the first quarter as Brees completed 4 of 6 passes on the drive. His only touchdown pass on the day came on this 13-yarder to Tim Stratton. Indiana's elusive quarterback, Antoine Randall got the Hoosiers moving early in the second quarter. This 31-yard run by Brian Lewis was the key to the drive that finished when Randall hit Versi Gaddis on a 10-yard pass. Purdue countered as Brees directed an 11-play, 65-yard drive that featured this 14-yard pass to Vinny Sutherland to lead the Boilermakers to the Indiana 1. Brees took matters into his own hands as he ran in this 2-yard touchdown. Brees would finish with 85 yards rushing on the day. The third quarter belonged to the Boilermakers and Lowe as the sophomore tailback scored twice, the first one coming on this 6-yard run. On the second scoring drive, Lowe carried the ball 10 times for 72 of the 80 yards. The final carry was this 8-yarder with 2:54 left in the third quarter. With the Hoosiers dropping all 5 defensive backs 10 to 15 yards, the Boilermakers continued to run it up the middle. In a 9-play drive, all on the ground, Purdue traveled 66 yards for the touchdown. Lowe did the honors by scoring on this 1-yard run. Landon Johnson led the defense with 11 tackles, including this stuff. The defense also forced the Hoosiers into 4 turnovers. Here's linebacker Gilbert Gardner putting the big hit on Randall to force a fumble. Big Ten Freshman of the Year Stuart Schweigert had 2 interceptions on the day. On the first one, Schweigert proved that indeed he was a freshman when after making the pick in the end zone, he failed to down the ball before tossing it on the ground in celebration. His second interception was without incident, proving that defensive coordinator Brock Stack had successfully corrected the mental breakdown in their sideline discussion following the end zone faux pas. also had an interception at the close of the game, and the celebration was on. At 6:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, history was made, ending a 33-year Big Ten championship drought and a 34-year Rose Bowl dry spell.
On behalf of the Pasadena Tournament of Roses, I invite all the Purdue fans to come to Pasadena on January 1st, 2001.
Hey, Boilermaker fans, would you ever thought that we'd be going to the Rose Bowl in November, baby? I just want to thank the fans, my teammates, coaches. This is by far the greatest sight I have ever seen.
Purdue had not witnessed such a rosy scene in West Lafayette for 34 years. It was supposed to be a storybook ending. The Boilermakers were expected to continue the Big Ten's recent domination of the Pac-10 and notch a 5th consecutive victory for the storied conference. The final chapter in a Cinderella story season for 17 senior players, the rest of the Purdue football team, and the thousands of fans who supported the Boilermakers on their road to the Rose Bowl. Perhaps it was a bad case of nerves or bad luck, or maybe running into another team playing at an emotional high in dedication to a fallen comrade. Whatever the contributing factors, the Boilermakers started slowly against the talented, determined, and 4th-ranked Washington Huskies. A bad omen occurred on the Boilermakers' very first play of the game, when the normally sure-footed Drew Brees slipped on the Rose Bowl turf for an 8-yard loss. Just 2 plays later, another bad sign appeared for the Boilermakers, as Brees was sacked for only the 8th time the entire season. A third bad sign for Purdue was that the Boilermakers uncharacteristically committed 6 first-quarter penalties. This one was a controversial pass interference call that kept the Huskies' first scoring drive alive. On Purdue's next possession, the Boilermakers were forced to punt. An old problem reemerged as disaster struck the punting team. Tim Stratton's snap sailed over the head of kicker Scott Kurz for a big loss to set up the Huskies' 2nd touchdown. The Boilermakers finally got moving as Brees orchestrated a 16-play drive covering 90 yards. Brees found Vinny Sutherland for the final 5 yards, and the Boilermakers were back in the ballgame. With 26 seconds left before halftime, Travis Dorsch kicked a 26-yard field goal to further cut into the Washington lead. Washington's Rich Alexis ran 50 yards on the first play of the second half as the Huskies' drive culminated in a field goal and a 17-10 lead. On the ensuing kickoff, Sutherland responded with this outstanding 51-yard return to give Purdue excellent field position. Brees Brees, who had finished 23 of 39 for 275 yards, then found Sutherland for his second touchdown pass of the game, this one going for 24 yards and a 17-17 tie. Unfortunately, that proved to be the Boilermakers' high water mark on the day, as Washington quickly retook the lead on John Anderson's second field goal. The game turned when the offense failed twice to convert on third down situations. Another bad omen, and that the Boilermakers were leading the nation in third down conversion percentage. These two uncharacteristic failures on consecutive possessions forced Purdue to keep its defensive unit on the field for too long during the latter portion of the third quarter. Misfortune continued to plague Purdue as the Huskies forced this fumble by Montrell Lowe to set up their final touchdown. Lowe, who gained 79 yards on the day, was injured on the play and did not return. Trailing 34-17 with 7:25 left in the game, the Boilermakers showed the same grit, determination, and spirit that got them to Pasadena by staging a gallant effort for the comeback. Cedric Brown surprised Washington on this 4th-and-1 play as he barreled 42 yards down the sideline for the touchdown with 6:37 left. The tiring defense forced Tuiasosopo into a turnover when the Huskies' signal caller attempted to lateral the ball at the end of a strong 26-yard run. The unsuspecting Elstrom could not handle the pitch, and cornerback Ashante Woodyard recovered at the Purdue 49. Good fortune finally ran out on the Boilermakers when, after the offensive drive stalled with 4:54 left, Dorsch was wide left on a 42-yard field goal attempt. With that miss, the hope of another dramatic come-from-behind bowl victory and the Rose Bowl championship faded. While the team and its faithful followers were disappointed in the final score, in retrospect, the loss in no way diminishes the extraordinary achievements of this very special collection of young men and their coaches. The road to the Rose Bowl began 4 short years ago, and that incredible journey has now been realized. To put this feat into perspective, here are a few important facts to consider. Only one other team in Boilermaker history has followed that same path to Pasadena, and that was 34 years ago. Along the route, Purdue captured its first Big Ten championship in 33 years. This team accomplished a feat that had been done only one other time in Boilermaker history, back in 1984, when it defeated both Michigan and Ohio State in the same season. The seniors on this squad and Coach Tiller can boast that they never lost the old oaken bucket during their 4 years at Purdue, something last accomplished in 1986. And they became the first senior class and head coach in Purdue history to go to 4 consecutive bowl games. In 3 out of the 4 seasons since Coach Tiller's arrival, his teams have won 6 games in Big Ten play. Before that, the last time any Purdue squad won at least 6 games in conference action was 1980. This was a very special team, perhaps one of the best in all of Purdue history, and this season will be one for us to cherish for years to come. It was a season of milestones and a lifetime of memories.
fellas. How you feeling? Great. I can't wait to get to Pasadena where it might be a little bit warmer than it is right here.
Yeah, right back at you this time. There we go. There we go. I'll get all of y'all too. It was fun. It's a business trip. Why you got these ties on and everything? We're going out there for what?
We think we know. Yeah, we're going to pounds that is.
He's supposed to be here. Joe Killer and his wife aren't editor.
We're getting refuel.
Hello, Stu. Good morning, America. From cake. Yep.
Man, zoom in on your dad.
That's very nice.
Shut up.
It's very...
There you go.
The Greater Lafayette community and the state of Indiana, we look forward to a great contest with the University of Washington Huskies.
Yeah, thanks all the fans for coming out and the media. This is great exposure for Purdue, and you know, we're here to have a good time, and we thank you in advance for all your hospitality, the hotel, and everybody involved with the Rose Bowl. We're gonna have a great time.
Okay.
One I had.
What's that right there?
Purdue. Purdue. What's this one here?
What's that? That's a daisy?
Nah.
A lilac?
Nah.
It's a petunia?
Nah.
Petunia bowl?
Roses. Red roses.
All right, here you go. Come on, Seven. Are you warmed up now? Are you warmed up? All right, let's go then. Full speed. Low kick, man. Come on, short arm. All right, all right. Come on, let's go, man. Accelerate. Yeah, of course. You just now start. That's no good.
Spread left, red. On 1, 6. Easy line. Stay. Same deal. Stay. To your right.
Coliseum, off the turf. About time we got here. 4 years been worth it.
Relax, lock up. What's this right here? What's this right here?
Christmas time. This is why I like Christmas. Because there's lots of food, buddy. Woo! Yeah.
We had a little turkey with a little Caesar salad and some nicely prepared mashed potatoes and gravy.
What I got here, well, we got yourself a roll, we got some mashed potatoes, salad, some, I don't know what you call them, maybe sweet potatoes, stuffing, some piece of meat in there, some spinach, you know, it's a well-balanced meal.
Merry Christmas!
Can I sit on your lap?
Come on up. Sure. I want you on my lap, big guy.
Frosty the snowman was a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day.
What day?
There must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found. For when they placed it on his head, it began to dance around. Oh, Frosty the snowman was a lad that he could see. And the children say he could laugh and sing just the same as you and me. And you and you and you, just the same as you and me. Frosty,
Ho, 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 who would know? Ho, 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 who would know? Up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with little Saint Nick. There's the stocking of little Will. Oh, just one of the glorious bill. Here is a hammer and lots of tacks. Also a ball and a whip that cracks. Ho, 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 who would go? Ho, 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 who would go? Up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down the chimney with good Saint Nick.
Here you go. No problem. There you go, Joseph. Enjoy your wristband, okay? I hear you. I hear you. Did you get Drews? You a St. Louis Rams fan? Yeah. Here you go, partner. They made the playoffs. Think they gonna repeat?
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy. You can have whatever you want, man. No, come on.
Single file, ladies and gentlemen, please. Gentlemen, single file.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Working on two.
I had 1.5. I'm done.
Indeed, they will try
Very relaxed. This is now the Platinum Jim Lathrop cut from Laurie's here in Beverly Hills. They're going to rename it because this is his 5th cut like this. The man is starving to death. Ooh.
just over the first one.
One. That's all I can handle. I'm not trying to win the contest. I'm just trying to get full. One is all I can give them.
I did okay. I ate 2.5, and then before I could finish the third, they took it away while I was doing this other stuff. I walked to go meet some people, and I came back and my food was gone. So I'm real upset because I would have eaten about 10 of them, but it's dessert time now, so I guess I'll just eat 10 desserts.
To make all 36 go down. Deep everywhere. Come out glorious.
Taking one prop kid. We went to Idaho State.
Do you remember?
No.
They had a guy there
the next year.
Well, it's great to be here, and for me as governor, the state of Indiana hails Purdue.
Welcome to Purdue University's newest regional campus, Purdue Century City.
On behalf of the guys behind me, the 67 Rose Bowl team, it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be back in sunny California. We appreciate the turnout today. A lot of these guys have made sacrifices to be here, but we would not have missed this game for anything in the world. As a proud Boilermaker, as the first team, we would like to salute Coach Tiller, his magnificent coaching staff, outstanding young men for a job well done. Welcome to the brethren. We salute you. Boilermakers, it's a feel-good day, yeah!
I'm sure West Lafayette's a ghost town. Seems like everybody's here.
Are you family? Are you family? All right, I gotta ask my teammates a question here real quick. And anybody else who knows the answer, feel free to join in. Hey, boys, who let the dog down?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to present the head coach of Purdue University, Joe Tiller. This is the second best looking crowd I've seen. And I don't mean that in a negative manner at all. The best one that I've seen this year was the one that spilled onto the field after the IU game when the Boilermakers were Big Ten champs and headed the Rose Bowl.
Somebody boned him up.
Wonderful.
Middle. I'll meet you in the middle when you come over here. Go up one step. Shut some of that. Stop, you on the bottom again. Three. All right, showtime. Go, 2, 3.
Randy,
Thank you.
With Rovers, not Hondas. I'm a bit of the break them all
Just square on him, Joe. Eyes up. Step break down. Go. Go. That's good. Right there. Good. Square him.
That's lucky, partner. Great job.
I think it's going to be one of those things you remember, like, dumb, but you remember it. Like, I hope people remember more from my playing, but I'm sure the helmet incident will come up. And the best part about when the kid gave the helmet back, there was like a note in it, and the note said, "I'm sorry about the inconvenience. I hope this helmet brings as much pleasure to you as it brought me."
I'd say the very last play of the Wisconsin game is one that just kind of stands out in mind. When we blocked that field goal and ran it back, that kind of exemplified our whole season, that if you come to a Purdue game, we may be down, but we're never out until the clock says, zeros across the board. And, that's what I think got us here is the fact that, we play extremely hard and we never give up and we give it that attitude, every single play. And we've been successful. And that's, I think, the big reason why we came away with the Big Ten championship this year.
I guess the Wisconsin game when I scored the touchdown, that was a big time for me. Yeah, my mind was going faster than that. I was just thinking, man, I hope I don't drop this ball. I hope I don't kick it. I hope somebody don't beat me to it. It was a whole bunch of things I was thinking about. I was thinking about picking it up and scoring.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if there's one play, but I think the Michigan game as a whole was the best display of our offensive line's ability to dominate a defense. If you watch that film, if you watch that tape, and you see the things that Chucky and Ian and Brandon and then all the guys on the line saw what we did to these Michigan defenders, it was brutal. I mean, they punished some of these guys pretty bad, and we look at that tape and we take a lot of pride in that.
I think my fondest memory of the year would probably be the Michigan game as well. When I look at what we had to come back through mentally as a team from the Penn State loss, I felt that we bounced back and we saved the whole season through the Michigan game.
I guess really that Michigan game was the fondest memory because it showed a lot of character of our team not to give up at halftime. We were down by a lot of points, and to come back and win that game, I think it set up the rest of the season for us.
For me, I think instead of looking at the turning point as being a positive thing, I look back at the Penn State game and I think about the 2 punts that we didn't get off, and we gave the defense short drives, let Penn State put some points on the board. I think about the missed field goal at the end, and I think really after that game is where our senior leadership emerged, and going into the Michigan week even. And I think because of that emergence of our leadership and guys having the confidence that we could, in fact, turn our season around, I think we came into the locker room at halftime of the Michigan game, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm the only one who feels that way, but I think we knew someone was going to step up and make a play to turn our season around right there.
I have to say the Ohio State game. I love that game. We really played the whole 60 minutes, and the whole game was just action-packed, and I love to play in those games. Greatest moment was on the offensive side when Drew Brees did the pass to Seth Morales at the Ohio State game. I always, Drew, I've always believed in Drew, no matter what the circumstances are. I always believe that he can bring us back. Me being a former quarterback, I noticed, I kind of watched the quarterback, and it's like, oh, man, his eyes got big, and he just let that ball go, and it was like, wide open the air, it's just like slow motion, and it was like, just come down, because he's wide open.
Oh, he's up there forever. It's like slow motion. You kind of tell yourself, you better not drop it, or you're going to hear a bunch of boos, and it's going to be bad, but, I don't know, you practice it so many times in the summer, in the spring, whatever, that you got to catch it. And I was able to catch it.
It went from, like, my stomach dropped on that last pick that you threw to, like, tears after the game. And Seth caught that. I thought Seth was going to fall. And he told me he was cramping up. Like, he got a cramp in his leg right as he caught the ball. So, props to him for staying up.
So you go from the emotions of Vinny scoring on the Z-follow pivot earlier and how high you are to try to run the clock out to win the ball game, and Drew making a mistake and giving him the lead, to the lows of that, then to the high of obviously Drew making a fantastic All-American play to win the ball game.
And then Drew obviously, I hate to use this saying, but fixing what he broke, leading by example. Stuff like that shows us the leadership and determination that you need to be successful.
I'd say my most memorable moment would definitely be after the Ohio State game, or at the end of the Ohio State game, when we needed a touchdown with about a minute and a half to go, and ended up being a 70-yarder to Brees-to-Seth Morales to win the game.
It was a great moment. I have to say, by far, you know, just beating IU 4 years straight has been, you know, something that I'm pretty sure a lot of players would dream of playing for Purdue, and hopefully we can keep that tradition going.
I got to play a lot in that game. I think we ran, one play, I think we ran that one play, 35 sprint, maybe like 15, 20 times in a row, like nonstop. They did not know how to stop it, so they were just not lining up correctly or whatnot, but we definitely didn't have it in the game plan to run it that many times, and it just worked out for us. I remember me and Landon and Gardner, we all, you know, took a knee, said a little prayer, and well, it was just, you know, we were just, you know, thank God for being where we are, and put on those hats, and, you know, it just finally started to sink in that we were Big Ten champions, and we are going to the Rose Bowl.
The greatest day in my athletic history, you know, as far as an athlete or a coach, and it was a great day. I can't really explain what that meant unless you've actually played here or gone to school here. It's been so long since we've won a Big Ten championship and come down to Indiana, and we played pretty well in that game, and it was fun to see the stadium alive like that at the end. It was an outstanding day. It was as good a day as I've ever had as a player or coach here, and maybe the culmination of a career. You know, guys' careers are made in days like that, and that's kind of what it was for me. Hopefully from now on, we'll have a lot more of those, and there won't be 34 years in between those kind of days, but that was truly a great day.
Well, I don't think I'll ever forget the sea of people on the field after the IU game. I mean, winning it, winning that championship, etc., is something that, because it looked to me like the field was completely covered with people, but the stands were completely full of people, and I couldn't figure out where everyone came from. But what a great sight, and a very emotional point in the season. There were different high points and low points to the season, as there are to any season. But as far as a vivid memory that you'll take with you, years down the line, I'll always remember that crowd spilling onto the field and the presentation of the trophy after the IU game.